In 1998, StarCraft was released on the personal computer. The game is a sci-fi real-time strategy, aka an RTS, made by Blizzard Entertainment. StarCraft was praised for its interesting universe and gameplay design that combined the best parts of the RTS genre into one game. However, one of its biggest criticisms was its overcomplicated and inaccessible design. Although this hurdle was present in most popular RTS games at the time, some might say it is indicative of the genre as a whole. StarCraft also allowed for player-made custom maps with unique rule sets to be accessed within the game itself. Gunnar Forever, one of the top map creators within the StarCraft Brood War community, created and published a custom map that is now often referred to as the very first MOBA. The man behind this map was not Aeon64. In fact, they never existed, and while that is an interesting story, I will save that for another day. You have no idea just how much misinformation I dug up while researching this topic. Anyway, Nicholas Tagerin, aka Gunnar Forever, simply created a custom map, one of many under his belt. Eventually, this would directly inspire Defense of the Ancients, a custom map within Warcraft 3. This custom game exploded in popularity and went on to solidify the game type as a whole. A single individual poured his creativity into a game he enjoyed, and that led to the creation of the entire MOBA genre. A gamer made a game within a game for other gamers. That single custom map changed the gaming space entirely, and to some extent, the world. In 1998, Valve released a game called Half-Life. This game's impact cannot be understated. It popularized WASD movement and the importance of writing in video games. Half-Life is often pointed to as the game that proved a narrative-driven single-player shooter was more than just a viable concept. A change sorely needed in a market stuck copying off each other's success. Doom clone is a term directly from this era in gaming for a reason. 1 year later, in 1999, Min Lei and Jess Cliff released a mod for Half-Life that, once again, took the world by storm. Valve noticed this and hired those two individuals, aware of the success that these two people could bring. What followed that hiring solidified Valve's presence in the gaming industry as true innovators and not just a one-trick pony with clever writing and level design. Eventually, they developed a full game and published a product that would change the way the industry viewed team-based multiplayer games. That initial mod, of course, was Counter-Strike. Two gamers making a fun game within a game created a blueprint so good that to this day still inspires other games. Tactical team-based objective shooters and in-game economics stemmed from this singular mod. I'm not talking about the skins in CSGO as well. Although, when you think about it, they, along with TF2 hats and the Steam Marketplace, are practically NFTs before the term even existed. And that's coming from someone with a self-made unusual, alright? In 1996, the successor to Doom released. Its name was Quake. Soon after, in the same year, a mod was released by Australian team TF Software. Initially, this team consisted of two people, Robin Walker and John Cook. Like the previous mod, this led to their hiring at Valve, and in 1999, an official standalone version was released of this mod. That mod featured a class and team system, 6 years before Battlefield 1942 released. A game design so unique and fitting, I have no doubt it influenced the Battlefield series, but that's not where this story ends. Through many trials, tribulations, tone, thematic, and art style changes, a game would release that combined the best parts of Counter-Strike, its team-based objectives, alongside Half-Life's narrative philosophies and the original mod's base classes fleshed out with these lessons. That mod brought forth the class-based system and innovated yet again twice over. A game made by gamers within a game created both hero shooters, class-based shooters, and, to this day, proves stylized graphics are timeless in a game that has reached its highest ever peak concurrent player count 16 years after its initial release back in 2007. Of course, that game is Team Fortress 2. Battle Royales, MOBAs, hero shooters, class shooters, team-based objective shooters, and so on and so forth. Hell, even things like mini-games, Prop Hunt for example, all started off as mods. The importance of modding should never be understated. To this day, far too many people believe that only the developers have the right to say what's right and what's wrong with video game design. The biggest innovations did not come from these multi-billion-dollar companies. They came from a small group of passionate people making something fun. Think about it. Riot Games would simply not exist without modding. League of Legends, Valorant, Teamfight Tactics, that company would be complete dust without mods. Valve saw the possibility and hired these people. Bethesda also encourages modding because they understand its impact and how that talent bleeds through into the gaming industry and follows Valve's footsteps hiring these modders. I have zero respect nowadays for Activision Blizzard King's management for many reasons, and emphasis on the management, the games I will critique separately. When I say management, think of, in my opinion, the walking, talking Hobbit lookalike Bobby Kotick. Nobody should ever respect a company that rips off the passion and creativity of others and tries to control the modding space entirely through EULAs and terms of service. Never forget what Blizz tried to pull with Warcraft 3 Reforged. Armchair developer is an insult used by people who do not understand video game history, or the precedent set by one or two people just trying to make something for themselves. Precedent that has been set time and time again. Another thing I hear thrown around a lot of similar nature is one person cannot change the world, despite our history proving that wrong in basically every single page of a history book. One person, one idea, one experiment can lead to striking gold. The people who made these games are not gods, not born geniuses. They're just people with passion. Same goes with the biggest YouTubers I've personally met and played games with. We're all just human, and in this case, we're all just gamers. People making videos about games. This also applies to the indie scene, with the ability to make games no longer limited to massive custom engine costs or computer science degrees. If you have ever played a MOBA, a hero shooter, a battle royale, whatever the hell Teamfight Tactics is, know this. That was not a billion-dollar company that made that game possible. It was a player, just like you, just like me, and it's what either of us could be. Thank you for watching. If you like what I do, why not subscribe? Or leave a comment. Even if it's negative, I can still learn from it. That's the point of criticism anyway. I made this video for educational purposes, and I did have to sum up a bunch of history into 1 or 2 paragraphs. And there was a ton of stuff I couldn't touch on. Just know that I am aware of it. One last thing. You and I may not be developers, but that doesn't mean we couldn't be, or that we don't bring anything to the table. I'm not a writer, and yet I have a web novel over 60,000 words long. I still don't believe I'm a writer, but I did learn a ton from that experience. Why not try making your own mod? And maybe, just maybe, you might make the next big thing.